Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In today's lesson, we will practice IELTS listening using a movie called The Terminator. It's a famous action and science fiction movie, and we will watch a short summary of the story. But this is not just a movie. In this video, we will also practice listening questions that are similar to the IELTS exam. The questions are based on academic topics, just like in the real IELTS test. But don't worry, we made everything easier and more fun, so you can learn and enjoy at the same time. This video is great for students who want to improve their listening skills, learn how to answer IELTS question types, increase vocabularies, and enjoy studying through movies. You will hear English clearly and slowly. After each part, you will get enough time to listen, think, and write your answers. So please get your headphones, a pen, and a notebook ready before we begin. Now let's enjoy this fun way to practice IELTS listening. Let's get started. The Terminator. Part 1. Arrival of the Terminator and Kyle Reese. The movie The Terminator starts in the future, in the year 2029. The world is very different. There has been a big war between humans and machines. The machines, led by a computer called Skynet, try to kill all humans. But a brave man named John Connor leads the humans and fights back. Because of him, humans start winning the war. Skynet becomes scared. It makes a new plan. It sends a robot called a Terminator back to the year 1984. The Terminator looks like a human, but is actually a very strong machine. Its job is to kill Sarah Connor, a young woman who will one day become John Connor's mother. If Sarah dies, John will never be born, and humans will lose the war. The Terminator arrives in Los Angeles, 1984. He is very strong and has no emotions. He starts looking for Sarah. At the same time, another person also travels back in time. His name is Kyle Reese. He is a soldier from the future and works for John Connor. From 2029, John sends Kyle to protect Sarah from the Terminator. Kyle does not have any special powers. He is only a human, but he is brave and smart. He carries a gun and some knowledge about the future. He must find Sarah before the Terminator does. The movie shows how dangerous this situation is. The Terminator is very fast and strong. Kyle must act quickly. Meanwhile, Sarah Connor is living a normal life. She works as a waitress at a restaurant. She is friendly and kind, but does not know anything about the future. She does not know that she is in danger. Sarah hears on the news that 2 women with the name Sarah Connor have been killed. She gets scared. Sarah does not know what to do. She tries to hide in a crowded nightclub called Tech Noir. She thinks she will be safe there. But the Terminator finds her location. Kyle also finds her and tries to reach her first. In the nightclub, the Terminator almost kills Sarah, but Kyle saves her just in time. He shoots at the Terminator and they both run away. Sarah is very confused and frightened. She does not understand why a stranger is helping her. Kyle tells her, "Come with me if you want to live." She listens to him and follows him. Together, they run away from the Terminator, who keeps chasing them. The first part of the movie shows a lot of action and danger. It also explains the main idea. A machine from the future is trying to kill Sarah, and a human from the future is trying to save her. Sarah's life is now in great danger, and she must trust Kyle if she wants to survive.
IELTS Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a police officer and a woman named Sarah Connor, who has come to the station to file a police report after a strange man saved her. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good evening, ma'am. Please stay calm. I just need to ask you some questions for the police form. First, what is your name?
It's Sarah Connor.
Thank you. How do you spell your last name?
It's Connor.
Now, I need your date of birth, please.
Sure, it's May 12th, 1965.
Got it. Can you tell me your current job?
Yes, I work as a waitress at a small restaurant.
Okay. Now, what is your address?
I live at 1537 South Hill Street in Los Angeles. That is 1537 South Hill Street.
Thank you. One more thing. Your phone number.
Yes, it's 310-555-2938.
All right. That's all for now. Please stay here. An officer will speak to you again soon.
Now you have some time to check your answers. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 8. You will hear the police talking to another man who was also at the scene. Now you have some time to look at the questions 6 to 8.
Can you tell me what the man who saved Sarah looked like?
He looked like a soldier. He had short hair and wore a gray coat.
Did he have any weapons?
Yes, he had a shotgun. He used it to fight off the attacker.
And how did he escape?
He took Sarah in a car, a blue Ford, and drove away quickly.
I see. Thank you for the information.
Now you have some time to check your answers. Now listen and answer questions 9 and 10. Sarah is now talking to a doctor at the station. First, you have some time to look at questions 9 to 10.
Sarah, what happened tonight?
I was at work and then I saw the news. 2 women named Sarah Connor were killed. I got scared and went to hide in a club called Tech Noir. That is spelled Technoir.
And what time did you go there?
I entered the club at around 8:45 p.m., I think. But I waited sometimes, as some people told me that the club will be open until 10:30 p.m.
Thank you. We will do our best to protect you.
Now you have some time to check your answers. That is the end of section 1. Now let's proceed with the movie summary.
Part 2. Escape and the Truth. After Kyle saves Sarah at the nightclub, they escape in a car. The Terminator follows them, but cannot catch them. Kyle drives fast and tries to lose the machine. Sarah is still very scared. She asks many questions because she does not understand what is happening. Kyle explains everything to her. He tells her that the Terminator is a machine made by Skynet in the future. It was sent back in time to kill her. If Sarah dies, her future son, John Connor, will not be born. Without John, humans will lose the war against the machines. Kyle tells Sarah that he is here to protect her. At first, Sarah finds it hard to believe. She thinks Kyle might be crazy. But after seeing the Terminator survive many gunshots without dying, She starts to believe him. Kyle also tells Sarah that the Terminator will not stop. It cannot feel pain or fear. It will keep chasing her until she is dead. They try to hide from the police, but the police catch them. Kyle and Sarah are taken to a police station. The police do not believe their story. They think Kyle is lying or crazy. They think the Terminator is just a man with a gun. At the police station, Sarah meets Dr. Silberman, a psychologist. He interviews Kyle and thinks he is mentally sick. The police tell Sarah she is safe now, and she should not worry. They have many officers and strong weapons. Sarah feels a little better and calls her mother to tell her where she is. However, Sarah does not know that the Terminator is still coming. It finds the police station and attacks it. The machine kills many police officers. It moves through the building without stopping. It is very powerful and deadly. Kyle manages to escape from his handcuffs and finds Sarah. Together, they run away again. During this time, Sarah starts trusting Kyle more. She sees how much he cares for her and how brave he is. Kyle teaches her some important things about survival. He tells her that she must never stop moving and must always stay alert. Sarah also learns that the future is not safe. Machines have destroyed the world, and only small groups of humans live. These people fight the machines every day. John Connor, her future son, becomes the leader of this fight. This is why Sarah is so important. The second part of the movie is full of action, fear, and escape. Sarah begins to change. At first, she was just a normal woman. Now she starts to become stronger and smarter because she knows her life has a big purpose. Kyle also shows that he is loyal and ready to die to protect her. As they run away together into the night, the Terminator is still looking for them. The fight is not over. It is only the beginning of their long, dangerous journey.
IELTS Listening Section 2, Practice Test, based on the Terminator movie. You will hear a guide talking to a group of new police trainees about a dangerous criminal situation that took place the night before. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about the serious incident that happened last night, so you understand what kind of situations you may face on duty. It started when a man with a weapon entered a nightclub. That's right, the place was called Tech Noir, and it was full of people. Now, this man wasn't an ordinary criminal. He had no clear emotion and didn't speak much. The first officer on the scene said he looked like a machine. He was after a young woman named Sarah Connor. But before he could hurt her, another man stepped in. His name was Kyle Reese, and he acted like a bodyguard. Reese helped Sarah escape in a car. The attacker followed them through the streets, but instead of crashing into them, he disappeared for a while. Later, both Sarah and Kyle were found and brought to a police station, where they were questioned.
Now you have some time to check your answers. Now listen to the second part of the officer's talk and answer questions 16 to 20. Match each person to what they did in the event. Choose from the list of actions, A to E. First, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20.
Now let's talk about some key people involved in this incident. Kyle Reese was the man sent from the future. He had only one mission, and that is to protect Sarah. Sarah Connor, the victim, started the night working her shift, but by the end, she had to run for her life. The Terminator, the attacker, showed great strength. He attacked the police station without hesitation. Lieutenant Traxler was the officer in charge. He tried to help, but mainly gave orders to others. And finally, Dr. Silberman, a psychologist. He interviewed Kyle to understand his mental state.
That's the end of section 2. You now have some time to check your answers.
Part 3, Escape and Realization. After the terrible attack at the police station, Sarah and Kyle escape into the night. They don't know where to go, but they understand one thing very clearly. The Terminator will not stop. He is still out there, and he will do anything to find and kill Sarah. Kyle tells her that the machine has no feelings. It doesn't get tired, it doesn't feel pain, and it never gives up. This scares Sarah a lot, but she knows she must stay strong. They steal a car and drive through the city streets. Sarah asks Kyle more questions about the future. He tells her that in his time, after the war between humans and machines began, people lived in fear. The sky was dark because of the nuclear war. Many cities were destroyed. The machines used flying robots and powerful ground units to find and kill people. But a strong leader brought hope to the humans. His name was John Connor, Sarah's future son. He taught the people how to fight back. Kyle says he grew up listening to John's stories about Sarah and how brave she was. This makes Sarah emotional. She is surprised that someone from the future knows so much about her. While hiding in a small motel, Sarah and Kyle get some rest. They also plan what to do next. Kyle buys some supplies, including materials to make small bombs. He believes they might need them to destroy the Terminator. Sarah learns more about Kyle. He says he came back not only to protect her, but also because he wanted to meet her. He had seen her photo many times and felt a deep connection. This moment is special. Sarah sees that Kyle is not just a soldier, he is also a kind and caring person. Slowly, their bond grows stronger. That night, the Terminator is still searching. He doesn't sleep or eat, so he keeps tracking them using their past locations. He checks every place they visited earlier. Finally, he finds the motel they are staying in. As Sarah and Kyle are resting, the Terminator attacks. He shoots at them and chases them onto the road. Kyle throws one of the homemade bombs at the Terminator. It explodes and the machine's body catches fire. He falls to the ground, burning. Sarah and Kyle think it's over, but it's not. After the fire goes out, the metal skeleton of the Terminator stands up. Its human skin has burned away, and now it looks like a true killing machine, made of shiny metal with glowing red eyes. It doesn't speak, but it moves fast and keeps coming. Sarah screams and Kyle grabs her hand. They run again, this time into a factory full of machines and metal parts. The final fight is close.
IELTS Listening, Section 3. You will hear a university professor and a student discussing a dramatic scene from The Terminator. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Answer the questions as you listen. You will hear the recording only once.
So, Jake, in your project you chose the Terminator as your focus, and you've selected a scene that's quite dramatic. Could you give me a brief overview of what happens in this particular sequence?
Sure, Professor. This scene takes place after Sarah and Kyle are caught and taken somewhere they think is safe. They're placed inside a secure government building well. Technically, it's the police station, but it functions as a holding area.
Right, I remember. And Kyle starts explaining things to the authorities, doesn't he?
Yes. He's in the interview room, and instead of keeping quiet, he starts telling them everything how he was sent back in time to protect Sarah. He describes himself as a soldier from the future, part of a resistance fighting against machines. The officers clearly think he's making it up.
It must be hard for them to believe. Did he say why the machines are targeting Sarah?
Absolutely. He explains that she's important because she became the mother of someone vital to the future, her son. He doesn't mention the name at this point, but we know it's Sarah Connor the machines are after.
And this is because of her future role?
Not her directly, but her child. According to Kyle, Sarah's son will be the leader of the resistance that fights the machines. The machines want to stop that from ever happening.
That sets up the tension really well. So, what's the climax of this scene?
Well, just when everyone thinks they're safe, the Terminator finds them. Without warning, he enters the building. At first, the receptionist thinks he's just another visitor. But then everything changes. In just a few minutes, he kills the police officers and goes searching for Sarah.
That is the end of part 1 of this section. Now you have some time to check your answers. You will now hear more of the conversation. Complete the table using no more than 2 words and/or a number. First, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 26 to 30.
Let's go into some logistical details, which might help your film analysis. What do we know about the layout and setup of this station?
Well, based on what I researched, the police station wasn't small. In fact, there were around 30 officers working on various shifts that night. Though some of them were off duty, most were still present when the attack began.
That's quite a number. You'd expect that level of security to stop anything from getting through.
That's the irony. Despite having so many officers, there was only one guard stationed at the entrance. He didn't last long once the Terminator walked in.
Do we know when exactly the attack occurred?
Yes, it was mentioned that the scene took place close to midnight. I believe it was around 11 p.m. when things escalated. It was quiet at first, which made the sudden violence more shocking.
How did Sarah and Kyle manage to escape?
Kyle was locked in, but when he heard the gunshots, he found a way out. He broke a window near the back hallway and used that as their exit. It was risky, but it worked.
Did they run off on foot?
No, they needed to move fast. They found a vehicle parked near the side and used it to escape. I'm not sure if it was stolen or just left running, but it was definitely a car.
That is the end of section 3. Now you have some time to check your answers. Then we will proceed to the final chapter of the movie summary.
Part 4. Final fight and the future begins. Sarah and Kyle run into a dark factory. The air is filled with smoke and the sound of machines is loud. Huge robot arms move up and down. Sparks fly from metal tools. It's the perfect place to hide, but also very dangerous. Sarah is tired and afraid. Kyle looks around and tells her to keep moving. Behind them, the Terminator is still coming. He is now just a metal skeleton with red eyes and no skin. He walks slowly but never stops. Kyle and Sarah try to use the machines to block his path. Kyle throws one more homemade bomb and it explodes near the Terminator. This time the blast breaks him into pieces. His metal body falls to the ground. They think the fight is finally over. Kyle collapses from his injuries. He is hurt badly, but he smiles because he believes they've won. Sarah kneels beside Kyle and tries to wake him up, but something is wrong. Suddenly, the top half of the Terminator's body starts moving again. Even without legs, it crawls forward using its arms. It grabs Sarah's leg. She screams and tries to pull away. She looks for something to help her. Slowly, she crawls away from the machine and enters a small space under a large metal press. The Terminator follows her, dragging its heavy metal body. Sarah finds the control panel for the press and waits for the right moment. When the machine gets close enough, she shouts, "You're terminated!" and pushes the button. The press comes down and crushes the Terminator's head and chest. Sparks fly everywhere. The machine's red eyes slowly go dark. This time it's really over. The nightmare has ended. Sarah is alive, but she is hurt and heartbroken. Kyle did not survive the battle. He gave his life to save her. Later, we see Sarah driving through the countryside. Her belly is slightly round. She is now pregnant. She records messages for her future son, John Connor. She wants him to know everything that happened, so he can understand why he must lead the resistance one day. She tells him that Kyle was brave and that he is actually John's father. It's a secret she must carry for now. Sarah stops at a gas station. A young boy takes a photo of her with a camera. She buys supplies and looks at the mountains. A storm is coming in the sky. The wind blows hard and the clouds grow dark. The boy says there's a storm coming. Sarah replies, "I know." She drives off into the storm. She doesn't know what the future will bring, but she is ready. She is no longer just a young woman. Now she is a fighter, a mother, and a symbol of hope for the future. The war has not started yet, but one day it will. And when it comes, her son will be ready.
Section 4, Part 1. Matching features on psychology and human behavior. Questions 31 to 35. You will hear a lecture discussing the findings of various psychologists on human behavior. Match each psychologist with the correct finding based on what you hear in the lecture. You will hear this part only once. Write the correct letter, A to E, next to questions 31 to 35. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 35.
Today,
We're looking at different psychological insights about human fear and behavior, based on recent academic studies. Dr. Elaine Marsh from Oxford led a study on fear learning. Her team showed that humans can be trained to fear neutral objects. For example, by associating a sound or a light with a small shock. Interestingly, she also proved these fears can be unlearned through repeated non-harmful exposure, a method often used in phobia treatment. Next, Professor Thomas Rowe investigated how humans react under stress. His research focused on decision-making in crisis simulations, like fires or natural disasters. He observed that participants, despite having training, often forgot basic steps such as where the exits were or how to call for help. Classic signs of cognitive overload under pressure. Dr. Maria Chen explored information processing. Her study found that people asked to make too many decisions in a short time became overwhelmed and made poorer choices. This phenomenon, called decision fatigue, can occur even during daily tasks like online shopping. Dr. Ian Keller worked on group behavior in emergencies. His experiments showed that teams with a single clear leader responded faster and saved more resources. Without leadership, people hesitated or argued, leading to worse outcomes. Finally, Professor Linda James examined how humans feel about robots and machines. She found that people were more likely to trust robots that look and act human, even when their performance was the same as simpler machines.
Now you have some time to check your answers. You will hear the continuation of the lecture, now focusing on recent developments in modern robotics. Complete the summary using the information you hear. Use no more than 2 words or a number for each answer. Write your answers in the spaces provided for questions 36 to 40. Spelling is important. Make sure each answer is spelled correctly. First, we have some time to look at questions 36 to 40.
Now let's move on to recent advances in robotics and engineering. In the past, robots were built using hard, fixed components. But modern robots are often made using soft polymer materials, which allow for flexible movement, helping them mimic how animals or humans move. This makes their actions smoother and more adaptable, especially on uneven surfaces. They also use neural network systems, which simulate the way human brains process information. These systems let the robots respond to changing environments without direct commands, enabling some form of autonomous behavior. Robots like these are being used in dangerous fields, especially space exploration, where it's risky to send people. They also assist during disasters like earthquakes, where human rescuers may not reach certain areas. But the machines still struggle with unfamiliar environments. For example, robots can walk into a building but fail to understand changes in layout or unstable ground. Engineers are developing new learning algorithms to help them handle such surprises. Looking ahead, experts believe robots won't replace humans, but rather work beside them in hybrid teams, groups where humans and machines collaborate. These teams could become common in military, medical, or industrial settings.
That is the end of your listening test. Now you have some time to check your answers.
Thank you so much for watching. If you took part in the listening test and would like to check your answers and find out your estimated IELTS band score, feel free to reach out to me through my social media profiles. You'll find all the links in the description or on my YouTube channel page. You can also simply leave your answers in the comments below, and I'll personally check them and reply with your score as quickly as possible. Your support means a lot, so if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun and effective IELTS practice videos. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.